keep on in it. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Finn is finna put the whiskey neat on the dyno and see what she do in the fairly stock form. So Ray's dyno, here's a few pounds. We've never put it on our air. Yeah. Because Ray was always buying all the parts and did the parts before I had the opportunity, so yeah.
Did you do it out here? Or is your...
He did it in somebody else. He did it out in at Harley-Davidson.
Okay. We'll be a couple minutes here.
Yeah, he said I'm just gonna. Okay. We got all this heat gear on. We good.
All right. Still stock, right? Stock ECU, everything.
Yes.
Or help. And we're just looking for a number. Start with E. No air field traces. Yo. What's done to it?
So it basically has the Screamin Eagle tuner, right? And has the air breather. This is the, I forgot what you call it, ST breather. Yep, the heavy. Using the heavy breather, and then Khrome Werks slip-ons.
I'm in Texas. I'm fast.
Okay.
Nationally, I'm pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'm not as fast as other. You know what those guys? The guys that not playing. Oh wow. Locally, yeah, I've got fastest battery in the state, but it's by a bit. But actually, Jay-Z's is number 3, and you'll see number 2 because it's sitting in my garage.
Okay, yeah.
Rooster Rose did. It's Steve got a full seal on it, so I've got it out shot.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you record. Close that up.
Yeah. He said it was Danger in his ears. You seen the skills, so.
Oh. Sew him up. Yo. And then, like, what Fian calls me, he's got a lot of good information, so it's all interesting. Like, because he knows so much about racing and different things. He breaks it down to you.
Says this place?
Yeah, this is his place. Yeah, he's got 3 shops.
Really?
Yeah. So he's got one about, I think it's like 20, 30 minutes from here. Then he has this performance shop. That's house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. But I love the way he explains, like, the VVT versus non-VVT. He really breaks it down so you can understand it. Why one is, why you may prefer one over the other. Because with the VVT, you can have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Whereas on the other one, it's like you build a bike strictly for, like, drag race. Not really necessary. Or if you're going to be road racing, maybe being in a higher rim may not. But just for, like, all around bikeability, I like 30. I'm sure there's false to everything, pros and cons.
So is this gonna make it work? What is this?
So what we're doing now, this is how they find out when you hear somebody say that the car has, 150 horsepower, 200 horsepower, whatever. This is what they put it on to measure. So we're going to measure a horsepower and torque to the bike. And not only measure it, he's going to be able to put what they call a torque curve or horsepower curve. So it's on a graph. So it shows you at each RPMs of the engine what it's putting out. So it graphs it for you. So that's how that's their data entry to be able to tell, like, if they're changing parts or doing stuff, what's actually, how does it affect the horsepower? And they can actually specify how you ride the light. So if you're like, I love low end power, I never really go over 4,500 RPMs. then they'll put your power in there. But if you say, I like to get on the highway and rip it, have this thing, at 150, that they're going to be working on that, high end part. And so anyway, what we're doing is getting a baseline measurement right now. And then once we get this measurement, then we're going to start changing stuff. So I got a full exhaust system, so we're going to put the full exhaust system on. Then he's going to put a cam in it and everything. And so right now we're just getting some baseline numbers. So that way, whenever we're doing the video and he's doing his videos, and by the way, the video, anything you want, like you good to go, bro. Okay. Yeah. And, so that way he can put it on, he can document it, put it on his Facebook and all that stuff. And so that way people will know what the bikes are doing with different things. And then like with these being kind of newer bike, it's always good to help a bunch of different. 23 and a half. Yep. It's so weird how they do that. How they brought this bike out so late in the year. Tomorrow. Because if you tell people it's a 23, a lot of times like they get it, like they could get mixed up with the other stats because only on the CVO models that they do hauls that praise. Every other bike didn't get any touch. Oh, it take care of it. Yeah, so it's technically like a 24.
So, but it's a 23 and a half?
Is there? Yeah, that's the way you can specify so people like you pick up on it. Because if you just say a 23, they might think it's like all the rest of the 23s were.
Okay.
And so,
yeah, there's a gray one somewhere. CVO. It's 20.
yeah,
It'd be the same all the way as a 22, 23 would be the same. These are different bikes. Technically, there is no 23 and a half, but we call them half years because it is.
yeah, make
Came
sure
out so late.
it came out so late, and to make sure everybody knows, like, because like I'm calling for parts and stuff. Oh, it gets really confusing, man. Oh yeah, people send you the wrong parts real quick. You don't specify. They're getting better now because they've been out for a while, but still.
I usually tell them new fairing for big touchscreen, new fairing.
Yeah, there you go.
Inverts, 121.
Yeah.
If you say VVT, they're like, oh, it's the new one. Yes, it's the new one. Oh, all right.
So did they on the ones on the 24, the regular road glides, they didn't put inverted forks on those, huh?
They do not have them.
So only the CVOs and the CVO ST.
Correct. I think they should have.
So yeah, so tell Ray what some of your favorite exhausts are.
Depends on the engine combo.
Well, we know you're not an S&S fan.
I'm not anti S&S. Some of their stuff I use.
Well, at the time, it was all that was available for us to get, so I just brought it.
S&S exhaust, for sure. I've seen guys that say they made it work. I've seen bikes that were tuned that had them on them. That they say the Sidewinder works good. That's not been my experience. But sure. I mean, everybody got their thing. I run a lot on Milwaukee 8s. I run a lot of Masani. On these bikes in particular, I've noticed the Sawikis work very well, the long Sawikis.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have that in black chrome?
I don't believe they do.
Yeah.
I don't believe they do.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Khrome Werks is pretty much like your black chrome option.
Yeah.
Because from what I've been told, Khrome Werks actually does the coating for Harley. So I don't know if that's true or not. Just what I've been told. But it definitely matches finishes, and they have the best quality finish on their exhaust. Federers does. Any other black pipe that you get, I don't care what brand it is, after a little time, they get kind of rusty, oily, shitty looking.
Oh, okay.
Khrome Werks doesn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my D&D did that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
D&D will do it. Bassani will do it. Every exhaust but Khrome Werks. Khrome Werks doesn't do that. So whatever they put in there is magic.
It works great. Also, I have Khrome Werks slip-ons on my black bike.
Yeah.
And then I did the full sacks header pipe.
So I've actually seen pretty good luck with that. Why did this a problem? Why are we being difficult today?
Yeah, I need to go sell some more houses so I can get you to put that CR 483 in there.
Yeah. You see that?
Sounds good, bro.
What is the CR 483?
Cycle Rama, the same cams that we're putting in.
Uh-huh.
They make a cam that's a 483 cam. Dude, it has a nice lope on it. It just choppy split duration. Super choppy, dude. It sounds good as hell.
For many years, the
How much is that one?
75 was the
I think the cam is like 350, but
360 something. It's cheaper than a VVT cam, but it's a very different than.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a VVT, though.
No. We getting the VVT option.
Yeah.
That's out there.
Yeah.
And this is the best VVT option that's out there. And it got a little chop to it from what some of the ones I've seen. Yeah. But it still ain't no 483. 483 sounds good as heck.
483.
Show me a video.
5 S&S, both of them are very choppy.
Very choppy, yeah.
They're both split duration cams, so you really hear it. They're probably two of the best sounding cams out there. The 485 is pretty similar.
Okay, yeah, it's very similar.
And see with 98 horse 130 Clive took down.
Okay. 98 horsepower. 125 torque. Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't think you had that much torque.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So
103 is where close to throttle.
Oh, okay.
So that's your speed limiter activating.
Okay. 103 miles. And what gear was that? Six gear. Yeah. Yeah, I saw some guys will do it in 6 and 5th or something.
So the reason I do it in 6 is 6 gear on these transmissions is 1-to-1.
Okay.
There's guys you'll see arguing whatever, they don't know what they're talking about. You want it to be 1-to-1 so that the engine is, turning a consistent speed to the tire. Otherwise you're not getting an accurate measure. So the most accurate reading should be with your transmission 1-to-1 gear.
Okay.
If you're either over or underdrive, then it's not going to be accurate. It'll give you a number, but it's not truly right.
Okay.
1-to-1 gear ratio should give you the closest, most accurate read. On the older bikes, 5th gear was 1-to-1. On the newer bikes, 6th gear is done.
Oh.
If you do a cruise drive or a grudge box, bigger grudge box, you get an overdrive system. Still 6 gears, but they moved the ratios of them around.
Okay.
So on this, guys, you'll just see people that don't know any better. It's 6 gears, it's got overdrive. No, it's still 1-to-1 gear.
Right.
There are aftermarket overdrives.
Right.
These bikes, not just these, all the Harleys from the back, all the 07 and later bikes and the 06 Dynas, they're all 1-to-1 6 gears.
Okay, yes. Okay.
What is the benefit of putting in the 7th gear?
So there's There's a 7-speed that Baker offers, which basically you still have a 1-to-1 7th gear. It just cuts each gear up. So basically it shortens the window between gears. So you don't get the long pull, it's quick through gear. If your bike doesn't make a bunch of power, adding a gear and shortening the ratios helps it go down the road smoother without the big gear drop. Like if you're climbing hills and stuff, say you got a stock bike, you're climbing hills, heavy passenger, heavy load on the bike in the mountains.
Right.
And the bike doesn't make a bunch of power. Well, you can just drop a gear because you basically dropped half a gear on the stock transmission. You're splitting it kind of like a semi. You have more ability to keep it in its power.
Right.
Now, it makes a bunch of power. Doesn't care. Just right. Like the Grudge Box, this bike from the factory will run around 160 miles an hour with all the speed limiters turned off.
Right.
At the rev limit.
Okay.
If you put an overdrive 6 gear in it, it'll run 186 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the rear tire explodes at about 183 after a few hits on a street tire. It'll blow up. Ow. See the hole in the cloth?
The mesh above your head. See the hole right there with the last tire?
Through chunks all the way out in the street. That's on my supercharged street bike that's at the other shop. You'll see it. Rear tire exploded off. I've had it happen a couple times. The drag bike, when it was a street bike, it did.
Yeah, about 180 mile an hour, these rear tires. Give up. They're not street bred. They're not.
Yeah, they have to put an aircraft tire on her.
So that's, yeah. Yeah, they do not like being spun that fast. They also will swell up so big that it breaks the cords inside the tire.
Did you hook up the cable on the other side?
I didn't hook up a tack input because I did a gear ratio calculation. So that's when you saw me earlier running it, holding it at a speed.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was doing was, say it again, that gear ratio calculation.
Oh, I got it.
I don't have to feed it manually.
Oh, okay.
You can. If we use my other dyno, we don't have the option to do that.
So you got a
Pet bait software. It's been out a long time now, but it's the newer software. The newer software, I can feed it an RPM input, or I could just do a gear ratio calibration. How it goes. Again, we're locked in there, so the clutch doesn't slip, assuming clutch doesn't slip, which it doesn't, because you could actually see it print on the graphics. Yeah, it'll throw the teardrop upside down.
Yeah.
It'll rev, and then it'll grab, and it'll pull it back. It'll make an upside down teardrop because it slips. That's nice and smooth. So right now the clutch is hold, but it's basically calculating the ratio. It knows if I tell it so basically here I input its speed. Let me go to the other's reading. This is RPM calculation gear ratio. Its gear ratio is 3813. That is at 2000 RPM. So because I input it as 2000 RPM. Target RPM 2000 in 6th gear, and then set a calibrate while the tack was holding smooth at 2000. Okay, now it knows how fast the engine's turning. I don't have to feed it anything. As long as I calibrate it in the gear I'm running in, it's active.
Okay.
If we were to put it 5th gear now and run it, I'd have to recalibrate it for 5th gear.
Yeah.
Doesn't take that long. Yeah, but it's just each time you have to do that.
Do that, yeah.
Run a manual input. The problem with the manual inputs, they're inductive. So inductive is always at the mercy of radio noise, radio frequency, any interference. So any electrical signal can freak it out. And a lot of times bikes come in to be tuned. They got audio on them. They got all sorts of, a lot of our race bikes have quick shifters and all sorts of computerized things on them. And it can create radio interference. The dyno picks it up. It doesn't know to not read that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just sees it, and it sees it as what it is. You know, we've even sometimes we have to take, there's a set of jumper cables under there. We'll take and ground the bike to the dyno, ground the dyno to the electrical outlets at the shop. Oh, wow. Because some bikes will have so much radio frequency interference, you'll actually see crazy spikes on the dyno. Wow. Like, the sensors just see what they see. They don't know whether it's been formatted. Got it. They just read the data. Oops. Any electrical interference causes it. So I can typically eliminate most of that issue